Welcome back to the Tree of Life Crochet Along. We are at the first part of the second trees graph. It's the same trees graph, we're just doing it a second time. And in this video we are going to be doing rows 1 all the way up to 16 because they're all the same. And then the next row, that's when it starts branching out. Okay? And if you'll remember, this is what we did the first go round. I wrote down every time I did these stitches. Okay, and this time, since we're already familiar with how it's done, this is what we're going to do. These are just the instructions I'm going to go by. Okay, row 1 through 16, trees 2, because it's the second time we're doing it, part 68 of the Crochet Along. And this is going to be 14 single crochets, and then you have an F above the next number, so that means it's going to be a front post double crochet. Okay, and then that's 12 single crochets, and then 4 front post double crochets, and then 14 single crochets, and that's repeated twice more on the same row. And that's for the front of the work. An odd numbered row will have front post double crochets because that will be the front of your work. And then when you turn it over to the back, that's an even numbered row, and you'll have little B's above the 4s, and that means 4 back post double crochets, and the rest of the numbers are single crochets. It says repeat row 1 for every odd numbered row up to row 16, and repeat row number 2 for every even numbered row up to row number 16. And for every row that I finish, so that I can keep up with it on paper, I'm going to put a check, and we'll have 16 rows to do. Alrighty, so let's get started. Okay, I'm just going to do the first repeat of the first 3 rows with you. The first row works into these single crochets, and the next row you do the front and back post double crochets around previously made back post or front post double crochets. So I'm going to do the first 3 rows with you, and if you need more detailed instructions, we did this before on when we did the trees graph the first time. We're just more familiar with the stitches now, and I think it'll be a lot easier. So if you're new to this and you need more, I guess, guidance, more instructions, I guess go back to the other videos. Just click on videos and it'll take you to all the videos that we've uploaded so far. And we are going to be working on the front of the work. This is going to be row number 1 of the trees graph in the pattern. Okay, and we already chained 1, turned, and put our first crochet, single crochet in. And if you haven't done that, go ahead, and the first number is 14, so we're going to need 14 single crochets. We already have our first one, 2, 3, 4, 5, and go all the way up to 14 single crochets, and I'll meet you back here at number 14. Alrighty, I've done 14 single crochets, and before we go any further, I want to show you, let me grab a needle. Okay, I want to show you how these stitches are set up. Okay, so like this last one we went into, the last single crochet we went into, we went under the loops. Well, the loops and that previous little post right there, that's what makes up that last single crochet. And it looks like that when you turn your work, which we're doing every row. When you're working in the round, it's opposite. Okay, but we need to know this so we can find the correct post to go around in this row. Okay, so if we were going to go around this post, then that would be the stitch that we just worked our single crochet into. Okay, so next thing we need to do is make 4 front post double crochets, and the posts are barely even there on the single crochets. It's such a short stitch, but that's it right there. Okay, that next stitch is going to be that very next post, and that next V on top, that's connected to this post. That makes that one single crochet, and then the next post is right here. Okay, so we're going to be working around 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay, and this is the 4th one that we're going to work around, which means whenever we go back to single crocheting, we don't go directly under these loops, because that is part of this last stitch. Okay, we go into that next stitch. Okay, we go after that next bar right there. Okay, and if you know that, then you'll probably be good on your counts, because we need 48 stitches for every repeat. Okay, now we need 4 front post double crochets, so we work into this around this post right here. Okay, so the stitch that you went in to make your last single crochet, you're going to go through that same stitch and up around that post, up through the next stitch. Okay, you're going to pick up that post from the front of your work. Okay, except we're going to be putting a double crochet in. So yarn over, go in through that stitch, go around that post, and up through the front of the next stitch. Okay, and we're going to make a double crochet, and there we have it. There's our first front post double crochet, and it gets easier when you're putting post stitches around these bigger posts. Okay, so the next one, next little post in line, right there. You can stretch your work out to see it. Yarn over, we're going to put a front post double crochet in and out through the front of your work, and make a double crochet, and we're going to do it twice more around the next 2 posts. Stretch out your work so you can see it. Okay, so you don't skip it. In and out through the front, double crochet, and one more time, stretch your work out on that very next post, in and out through the front, double crochet, and there we have our 4 front post double crochets around those single crochet posts. Okay, and now our next number is 12, so we're going to put in 12 single crochets, but we don't go into this stitch right here. That stitch belongs to that post, and we worked a double crochet around that post. Okay, so hop over that next post and go into this stitch and make a single crochet. That's number 1, and we need 12. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, and then we need 4 more front post double crochets. And what do? After we yarn over, we insert our hook into that very same stitch, that we just worked a double crochet in, go around that shorty loop right there and up through the front like so. Okay, and we're going to yarn over first, so we're going to make a front post double crochet. So yarn over, now go in through that same stitch and up out through the other one, through the next one, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through two, yarn over, pull through two, and that's your front post double crochet. And we're going to do it and then around the next 3 posts. So 3 more front post double crochets. Stretch your work so you can see that loop. Okay, there's number 2 of 4, and the next loop, number 3 of 4, and the next loop, is going to be number 4 front post double crochet, and there we have our 4 front post double crochets. And now we need 14 single crochets. And where do we put our first single crochet? Okay, we know that this right here belongs to this stitch, so it's going to be right after that next post. We'll go under those loops and start our single crochets. 1, 2, 3, and we need 14 all together, so I'll meet you right back here at number 14. Alrighty, I'm on number 14, and if you'll notice, number 14 should land right on where that stitch marker is. Okay, right in line with the stitch marker. Okay, and I'm going to leave mine in place. I'm not going to move it up every time because that'll just confuse me if I take it out and then I'll forget where the heck it was, and then I'll put it in the wrong spot. I'm going to leave it right where it is and then just follow where I am. I'm going to follow it down like I did before to the stitch marker to check my placement, and that was the first repeat of row number 1. Okay, and you're going to do it just like this twice more, and when you're done with this row, I will meet you at the end and we'll put a check mark on number 1 below, and I will see you at the end of this row. Alrighty, I'm to the end of row number 1, okay, of the trees graph, and we're going to, like with every row, chain 1, and we're going to turn and put a single crochet into that first stitch. Okay, and we're going to turn our work to the back of the Afghan, and this is going to be row number 2. It's an even numbered row, so we'll be making back post double crochets. Okay, so what I want you to do is put in 13 more single crochets, okay, for a total of 14 single crochets. 2, 3, 4, all the way up to 14 single crochets, and I'll meet you back here at number 14. Okay, here is my number 13 and 14, and now we're going to make back post double crochets. We're going to put our hook to the back of the work and pick up the loop that we need to pick up, okay, and to work around. Okay, and they're going to be 4 back post double crochets, and we already have 4 post stitches to work around, so they're double crochets, so they're easier to see. We're going to yarn over, stretch your work out so you can locate that first post. Okay, there are four right there. Okay, we're going to put our hook in through the back to the right side, go around, hook it out through the back on the other side, of the loop, of the post I mean. We're going to pull up a loop, okay, and then we're going to make our double crochet. So yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, and it's on the other side with the other post stitch that we made. Okay, so, and it's away from us, so it's a back post double crochet. Okay, and all the designs are going to be on the front side just like before, and we need to make 3 more back post double crochets. Okay, don't forget to yarn over in and out through the back, double crochet. Don't forget to stretch your work out so you can see exactly where that post is. Okay, and 1 more around that next post. Okay, that was 4 back post double crochets. And now we need to make 12 single crochets. Okay. And we work into that first single crochet, and we're going to make 12 single crochets. Okay, and there's my number 12, and now we need 4 more back post double crochets. Okay, stretch your work out, go in and out through the back, pull up a loop, and make a double crochet. Okay, and we're going to do that same thing 3 more times. Two, 3, 4. Okay, there are my 4 back post double crochets. And now for the last number, we need 14 single crochets. Okay, and there's the first single crochet. Make 14 single crochets, and I will meet you right back here at number 14. Alrighty, I have a couple more to go. 13 and 14 is going to end up in line with the stitch before the stitch marker, since we're on the back of the work. Okay, and that's how you know where you are. You know, if number 14 lines up with the stitch before your stitch marker, then you know that you've counted correctly. Okay, and I'm going to repeat this twice more. Okay, we did 1 bracket, and we're going to do it twice more to the end of the row, and I will meet you back here at the end of this row. Alrighty, I'm to the end of this row number 2 of the second trees graph. Okay, I have 2 more stitches left. Okay, and it should look something like this. And we're going to go ahead and chain 1, turn that end, and put a single crochet into that first single crochet. Okay, I'm going to turn my Afghan to the front, and now we are on row number 3. Okay, let's mark it on our paper. I already did 2, so I'm going to put my little check mark, and then now we're on 3, and that puts us back to an odd numbered row. So we're going to do the 14 single crochets, the 4 front post double crochets, 12 single crochets, and 4 front post double crochets, and 14 more singles 3 times on this row. Okay, So the first thing we're going to do is put in our 14 single crochets. Okay, we already have our first one. Two, 3, all the way up to 14, and I will meet you back here at number 14. Alrighty, here I am. I've done my number 14 single crochets. Okay, and now we need 4 front post double crochets around these double crochet post stitches. Okay, so we're going to yarn over. Okay, just like before, stretch your work out so you can see that post, that first post, and we're going to go in and out through the front of the work and yarn over and pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, and that's the front post double crochet, and we're going to do it 3 more times. Okay, so that was 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, there are 4 front post double crochets, and now we need 12 single crochets. Okay, and what do? We're not going to work into this because that belongs to this previous post. What we do to find that the first available single crochet is look for the next little post and then go to the left of that. Okay, and under that, those loops right there, that's your first single crochet. Okay, work under there, and that's number 1 single crochet, 2, 3, and we need 12 all together. So I will meet you back here at number 12. Alrighty, I've done my 12, and now we need 4 more. 1, 2, 3, 4 front post double crochets. Okay, yarn over, in and out through the front around that first post, and make your double crochet. Okay, that was 1, 2, 3, 4 front post double crochets. Okay, and now we look for that very next little post and go to just to the left of it for our first single crochet. That makes up that first single crochet. Go under those loops. 1, 2, 3, and we need 14 single crochets, and I will meet you at number 14. Alrighty, I've done my number 14, and if you'll notice, I'm right in line with that stitch marker. That's because we're on the front of the work. Okay, so that's perfect, and that was our first repeat of 3. Whoops, we're on an odd numbered row, so we're on the front of the work. Okay, so that was the first one, and now we have 2 more to do. Okay, so complete 2 more of these, and I will meet you at the end of this row. Okay, I have a couple more stitches left to do in this row. This is going to be row number 3 of the trees graph, the second time around. Pick up all your loops. Okay, now we're going to chain 1, of course, at the end of the row, turn and put a single crochet into that first single crochet. Okay, and you're going to turn your work and do row number 4. Okay, that's a repeat of row number 2 because it's an even row and it's on the back. Okay, so I'm done with row number 3, and we're going to do this all the way up to row number 16. Okay, so it's important that you keep up with what row you're on. Okay. Okay, and if you look at the back, and I've shown you this before in a couple earlier videos, if you count the little ridges poking out in the back, then you can, that will tell you which row that you just completed on the other side. Okay. Let's see, there's 1, 2, and 3. So I've done 3 rows of post stitches. So that means I've done 1, 2, and 3 rows of post double crochets, front and back. Okay, and you don't count this top row, just the ones that are poking out towards the back. And there's our first one. They're smaller because those are the single crochets that we worked into first. Okay, and then there's our second row, and there's our third row. Okay. Anyway, so you will do this. You will repeat these all the way up to row number 16, and I am going to end this video and then finish this up to row number 16, and then we'll see it in the next video. But I hope everyone is enjoying this crochet along, and we're almost done. And it's going to seem like it's taking forever the second time we're doing the trees graph, but at least we know what we're doing now. We're more familiar with it, and I will see you guys in the next video.